Okay, so today we got something special planned for you. I'm going to get coached because my wife, Grace Ann Roselle, is in the rehabilitation hospital here in Las Cruces, New Mexico. I'll give you some background as we go. Essentially, she had a stroke. It's the kind of stroke where you have the narrowing of the artery. The artery pinches or is clogged. When that happens, um, neurons in the brain die. So those cells die. And then the brain has to go through a plasticity phase where new cells take up those functions, but they don't know what they're doing yet. So it's very, very slow. So the left side of her body is pretty paralyzed, non-functional, left arm, left hand. She can move the left shoulder, so she can push down like this on her wheelchair. Everybody's in a wheelchair here, and then kind of push if she can get her hand to make contact with the wheel. So the left part of her face is kind of like the Novocaine after the doctor. You got that sensation of you can't feel anything in it. And their speech is slurred, not just physically, but the language skills are affected. So it's very devastating for me to watch all of this and have somebody that's taken care of me for 33 years. All of a sudden, I'm taking care of her, which in a loving relationship is very, very wonderful. I finally get to care for her. If you know Grace Ann, if you try to do something for Grace Ann, she flicks your arm out of the way. She's very independent, very tenacious, which is good for this kind of activity. So, what 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, we started noticing changes in the functions. We didn't know what was going on, but she was getting tired. She couldn't ride 2 horses a day, so she just started riding one. And then she was starting to lose some functionality on her cheeks, and her speech was starting to go a bit. So we reasoned it was probably a stroke. So we drove from Caballo up north to Las Cruces to the Mountain View Hospital, at which point they admitted her right away and said she had a stroke. And then they did a CT scan, an MRI. Her blood pressure was 200, which is extremely high. So it took them 3 days to stabilize the blood pressure, given blood thinners like statin and aspirin, etc. They didn't want to keep her too long in the regular acute care because then the rehabilitation doesn't go very well. So the longer you stay in the hospital, the worse off you're going to be trying to recover from a stroke of this type. But after about 3 days, she had a second CT scan, and finally the blood pressure stabilized. So she came over here, I think it was on a Saturday and maybe a Friday. I think it was a Friday, but she wasn't assigned caregivers yet. So part-time people made do. So today's Monday, and she'll meet for the first time kind of the person who's in charge of her care. Now, she has a number of people she's met already, like the speech therapist, rehabilitation, the physical therapist, the what they call occupational therapy, which is to, like, how do you get in your car? How do you open a door? How do you undress yourself with one arm, one leg, that sort of thing. And but today, just to give you an idea of how this works, if you raise your hand, if you've been in rehab or you have people in rehab, you probably know this already. I don't want to be redundant, so Joy knows. But the thing of it is, you come in and you're a red tag. That means you're not allowed to go to the bathroom by yourself. You're not allowed to get out of bed by yourself. You're not allowed to get in bed. You're not allowed to get out of the wheelchair when you get in it or to get in it. And they got alarms that go off. If you try to get out of the bed, the alarm goes off. If you get out of the wheelchair, when you're going from place to place, the alarm goes off. So she needs to be certified to go to yellow, which my understanding is then she could be mobile in her room, get out of the bed, go to the bathroom safely, get up from the bathroom, maybe even shower, sit down in the sit down seat in the shower, that sort of thing. So it's been the first day she couldn't do any of those things alone, but now she can, and they're letting her with a nurse or an aide or somebody's assistance, not me. I've got to be certified to walk from her bed to the bathroom, and to walk back. But to get back in the bed, we have to call somebody again. So if she gets yellow tagged, it'll be easier. Then if she gets a green tag, she can be mobile without a wheelchair, and maybe a cane or something. So in the gym, they have her practice doing laps with they try to walk her and she could do that. They tie a belt around her waist and then she can walk. But they had to teach her to raise her left foot on purpose up because she was dragging it, so up, down, up. So it's these repetitiveness, and I'll try to keep this short. But if you're recovering from a stroke, let's take the left arm. So you've got some ability to move your shoulder, let's say, right? Then through repetition of that, you get to move your arm and you can maybe get this high, but not that high. So you practice. For the first 3 days, she had no grip in her left hand, so she couldn't grip anything like the wheelchair rail. Or the rail to hold herself up in the bathroom, et cetera, et cetera. So today, I'd say yesterday she got some grip. Today it's a little better. And just to give you an idea how tenacious she is, she uses her left foot, her non-dominant foot, and her non-dominant hand to work her wheelchair. Oh, I would say a good 300 feet to the dining room and back. It takes a long time, but the more she does that activity, the sooner she's going to get the grip back in her finger. Then speech therapy, they'll say, well, here are a string of numbers, 16, 22, 42, 82. What was the third number? What was the fifth number? What was the first number? So they'll work on her cognitive skills to do that. A lot of it is exciting to watch just little bits of progress, like the first time she can sort of get her hand to move towards the wheelchair arm. Now, or a wheelchair wheel? Why is everybody in a wheelchair, you might ask? Because some people have brain trauma, other people have strokes, other people have been hit by a car, hit and run when they were on a bicycle and had 2 broken legs, broken rib, broken collarbone, and had to have all those bones bolted back together. So those kind of patients are here too. I remember the one gentleman, he couldn't move at all the first couple of days, but I noticed the third day he's starting to move one foot to drag the wheelchair and one arm to kind of move the wheel on the wheelchair. And eventually he'll get the other arm. So here's my dilemma, since I've asked for coaching today, if you're just tuning in. This is little bit of, it's interesting, is love and care, because now I get to help Grace Ann, get to the bathroom, come out of the bathroom, pull up her pants a little bit, you know what I mean? Do things that she can't quite swing on her own yet. And that gives me a care role. But then the first couple of days of myself at home, I was completely lost. I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know to take a bath, for example. I said, well, how do baths happen in our house? Usually Grace Ann has the water done and she calls me to say, bath time, David. And I go take a bath. But now I have to run my own water, decide to take a bath. And that sounds stupid, but I don't know how to pay bills. There's only a couple of things I know how to cook. Um, and that's all well and good. I guess the biggest coaching thing I need, um, like initially the first few days was I was afraid she was going to be like this the rest of her life. And um, that was terrifying. Then I saw that she was getting the ability to move in a wheelchair. And the first time I saw a wheelchair, I was all these wheelchairs lined up for chow. You see like 20 wheelchairs. Those are the people who can ambulatory. The other ones are still in their room getting meals delivered. It's why is everybody in a wheelchair? Why can't they go to the bathroom? Because we're in a litigious society and these people have to protect themselves to be sure nobody falls. Because if somebody falls, they sue. If they sue, they can't be a rehab center anymore. You know what I mean? 2 or 3 lawsuits and they're out of business. So there's that. So I think they're doing amazingly well. And I see bits of progress. So by the third day, I was wanting her to get out as soon as possible. Then I realized if she gets out, let's say in a week instead of 2 weeks, Medicare pays for 2 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks, could be 3 days to 2 weeks. That's it. And then if she gets out too early, some people in here are just getting to do enough wheelchairing so they can go to nursing home. They're never going to go home again. Other people here are expecting to walk on a cane, but they're going to have caregivers at home. Grace Ann wants to ride horses again. You know, is that possible? It is, but it might take 3 months to 6 months to a year. You know what I'm saying? And if I am a caregiver, what does that do to me? I've had to cancel the trip to Texas, almost canceled for the axiology conference. And I had to cancel the trip to Brisbane. I haven't canceled the airlines yet. We're still holding out hope that in November she can travel 17 hours on a plane. Is that feasible? No. Our best advice so far, she's not going to go to Brisbane in November. I'm not going to go to Brisbane. So I have to prioritize Grace Ann ahead of everything else. I had to tell my clients, I am not going to help you for the next 2 weeks, maybe the next 2 months. I have other people to recommend, but I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? Even now, I feel guilty being away from her, even though she's sleeping in her room. I feel guilt. Okay, that's about it. I'm going to show you some slides if it's cool, or if you have any questions, we'll take some questions now before we start. But the plan for the day is Joy's going to give me some coaching, then Vanessa, then Lucero, if they're here. So I'm assuming they agreed. And then I'm going to ask Monty, Harvey, who's from Bougia Day, Harvey from Axiogenics. Doug is here from Bougia Day. Monty is here, I think. So I asked them because Les is so much neurology, so much to do with psychology, so much to do with what's the question to ask of the net value, you know. what's my net value question? You know what I mean? What's the relationship between the extrinsic and systemic aspects of a rehab center and the intrinsic aspects of a rehab center? For example, for Vujade, what's the visual, auditory, kinesthetic aspects of what they do here? You know what I'm saying? Grace Ann has to deal with all of it. I have to be aware of all of it. So anyway, would you like to ask a question or would you like to see slides? What do you want to do? Does anybody have anything?
I'd like to see the slides.
Okay, slides it is. I got up and prepared them. Let's see. There it is. Let me put that there, not there. Over the shoulder. Yeah, that looks good. All right. Let me try this. All right. We seem to be doing pretty good here. Okay, so these are different purview coaching modalities. I redid the chapter while I was waiting a week ago from 19,000 words down to about 6,000. You probably appreciate that if you ever go online at Growth OD. By the way, the Purview Mindfulness Quiz is available. You can go to the website at growthod.org and click on it. I need to collect about 100 or 200 things so I can do the tabulations, regressions to figure out what I'm measuring. This is about Grace Ann and myself. She's 75, Rehab Hospital of Southern New Mexico. Ischemic stroke. That's the kind where the nerve is, or the vessel is pinched. It's not burst. It pinches and that kills brain cells. Condition led to cell death with surviving cells adapting for deficits in the left side of her body and slurred speech. Me, I'm in turbulence because as a caregiver to Grace Ann, I'm reprioritizing and learning to care for myself. Purview stands for processes, embodied reasoning, viewing internal energy. That's like quantum energy in the waves. So in the first activity, I've asked Joy to start with these basic questions like, what's one thing I would like to accomplish by the end of this session today? And then she can ask some other questions. And she knows how to do the method, so I'm not going to belabor that. She's quite good at it. And then we always start this question with the thing at the bottom. Always start, is it all right for your unconscious mind to release this story filter today? Or however you want to word that, and be aware of it consciously. A little bit about the neuroscience. So the brain operates language centers, emotion centers, memory hubs, and there's this things called gyrus. Now that affects language, emotional centers, memory, sensory, and motor experience for Grace Ann. So the temporal gyrus, as uppermost part of the temporal lobe, is critical for auditory. So that's where her speech is slurring, but also some language comprehension issues. In the middle temporal gyrus, called the MTG, lies directly beneath this other one we just talked about, and it's involved in semantic memory, more language process, but the visual integrating of the working memory, conceptual knowledge retrieval. So the first few days, this was not working too well, and her answers would be short, and she sounded a lot like her mother, who's 95 right now. So Grace Ann's inferior frontal gyrus, IFG, supports language, semantic processing, and are correlated with improved recovery in naming and comprehension tasks after a stroke. So it gives you some idea. Mainly the stroke hit above the brain stem, affecting the left side of her body and some speech and cognition issues and some memory. But she's doing very well. So this first one, you'll see Joy go through characterizing, externalizing, sympathizing with the payoff of this, revising, strategizing, rehistoricizing, publicizing a support group. So this is something Grace Ann and I have developed over 30 years, working with veterans and their families, with doctoral students during exam time, with people in business. So it's a pretty well established methodology that we've developed. Let's see, I think this one might be out of order. The next one will be, there'll be second one will be Vanessa. She's going to do the quantum timeline. She'll do it in her own way, not the way I'm laying it out, but it comes from Tad Jones in Australia, and it's also used by Genius Unlock coaching that I've had training in and certification. So you have a 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes Vanessa doesn't use the 1, 2, 3, 4, but just so you know what's going on, we'll travel back to significant emotional experience, what's called the first event. That'll be number 4. She'll ask me to float above it. That's number 2. She'll ask me to go before that first event, like even earlier, to look at the event from that angle. And eventually we'll go more into the future, looking back on event 4. So you have these several perspectives looking at event 4. Now, the theory is that if you re-story the first event, the other events in the chain, if you look at the bottom of the diagram, they pop, what I call pop. They are no longer as salient. So you don't have to go through 7 events displayed here. You only have to pop the first one and see if the others kind of fall away in their impact. The other thing about what you'll see Vanessa demonstrate is I could opt to go back to womb or genealogical to ancestors or to past lives. I've done that in other things. So you have the past, P, N for now, F for future. And so you have the imprint period 0 to 7. That's like between womb and, right, the first 7 months. After that, you have modeling, and then you have 7 months of socialization. That's the theory. We like to go to 0 to 7 because that's where you're going to have the most impact on subsequent events. Some people will go to past lives, others will go to ancestral issues. So it just depends on where people are going to go. Vanessa's very good at this. And then we'll finish up with Lucero, who will do this in her own way. So she probably won't follow the steps, and she'll do it. She's a master Reiki, Holy Fire practitioner and coach. So she'll take me down that approach. All of these are explained in the purview approach in the chapter at growthod.org. Okay. Anyway, so have you figured out we're going to do 3 coaching sessions? I'm going to be coached. So this is about me. So I'm not going to talk about Grace Ann anymore. I'm going to talk about what's going on in my brain and my emotions, my ancestry, my memory. You know what I mean? Is there any questions before we start? I hope that you find this useful. And anytime, Peter, you want to drop in, or Doug or Monty, if he's out there, anytime you want to drop in and give us insight, during any of the 3 sessions. That would be good. I guess there's also David Trofimo's book. He's not going to be here this morning, but it's called Methodological Issues in Psychology with the Wonderful Drawings of Sabine and David Trofimo. So these are the different assumptions that we find. For example, the assumption is that if you put people into 1 to 2 weeks of rehab, it's going to be better than doing outpatient. In terms of, like, my grandmother had a stroke before they did this kind of thing. She never recovered her speech. She never recovered the use of I think it was the left side of her body as well. Very scary stuff. But now they've discovered the sooner you get people into rehab after a stroke or a car accident or brain injury, whatever, the better the results are going to be. Another assumption is by having a team of specialists, you're going to get quicker movement. Another assumption is that some people aren't going to make much movement. They're going to get bounced out of here in a few days. They won't get a week's worth of treatment. They won't get 2 weeks. So you can fake it and look like you're doing recovery, but not actually get the things you need to recover. That's a possibility in this. Everything it reminds me of basic training. Is a very organized institution. You eat at certain hours. That's it. You know what I mean? That's the schedules are done for you. You don't pick the schedule. So in some sense, you can feel out of control, or you can feel like the universe is in control and you're not needing to think about it. I don't know. I'll shut up now. So Joy, you want to kick it in? And if anybody has a question anytime during this, just interrupt and we'll try to explain what's going on.
Thank you, David. Thank you. I'd like to say, first of all, thank you for trusting me and allowing me to provide this service for you. I'd be glad to do a lot of things for you, short of flying to Las Cruces, New Mexico. But there are a lot of things I can do for you. And I want you to know that I'm a trained Purview coach, and you are in good hands right now. And you are safe to express yourself because you're among friends, and you're among friends who love and support you. So, David, I would like to ask you, I understand if a nurse or someone comes in to talk to you that you would have to, break and talk to someone. But right now, I would like you to focus on you and your transition of the way your life has become and will become for a little bit longer. So I'm going to ask us to get set for the Purview session. I'm going to ask you to put your shoulders down. Make sure that you have found a relaxed pose. I actually like the view that I'm seeing right now, and it looks like you can be comfortable there. And one way to signal to your body that you are ready to be comfortable is to take 3 deep breaths. And I would like to guide you through that before we get started. And as you probably know, we're going to breathe in a very long breath in through the nose. So begin with the first one. And then out with a noise, out with a hum, or out, 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 out. Shoulders down, shoulders down. And now we're going to take the second very deep breath in through the nose. And when you go out, 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 I like to hum, 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 hum. Whew. And one more very deep breath in through the nose. And then out, 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 shoulders down, shoulders down. Whew. That can be a signal to your body that you're ready to go within. You're ready to tap into your subconscious mind, because in your external circumstances, there's a million things going on. But right now, here and right now, we're going to focus on one thing. So I'm going to ask you to do another exercise before we get started with the purview model. And your friends can all do it with you, or they can go off camera and do it if they choose. But the first thing we're going to do is dust off. So I'm going to ask you, you can start at the top of your head and begin dusting off external circumstances. Slowly, slowly through your head, your neck, your shoulders, you're dusting off. So down at the shoulder level, you can cast off unwanted emotions, unbeneficial emotions, just cast them off. And think of these things as getting rid of that which no longer serves you. And these things can be like a drop of ink in an ocean as you dispel unwanted thoughts. Unwanted thoughts. I'm down to my knees now. I'm asking you to go slow. We're still dusting off, dusting off. And now I'm down to my calves, to my shins, and my ankles, and down to the feet. So we'll just go through one iteration of that, but we have one more thing. So we're going to do what's called unruffling. And in my certification for healing touch, unruffling also starts at the crown. And you take your fingers as though it was a comb, and you're combing out spaghetti strands. You're combing out energy levels of your body. You're just combing those out slowly. So you're down possibly to your neck, and you're using those fingers to untangle energy.
Hold on a minute. I gotta move.
Oh, good. Oh, that's fair for you. They're too heavy. Are you sure? Yeah. Quite heavy.
We're going to hold on here while David physically moves to another location.
Yep.
I perceive that that could happen, or that someone would need to speak with you. And we are unruffled here. We are saying, we bless the flexible, for they shall not be bent out of shape.
Yep.
So we are flexible. And I'll just watch you get back into a comfortable chair. And you're really good at moving that laptop or tablet or whatever you're moving around. You're really good at that.
Yeah.
We can still see you.
Well, okay. Whew.
All right. So you have repositioned.
Almost.
And David, I am not I am not rattled at all. So just take another moment. I won't ask you to redo anything. But
Okay.
please take another moment. We're going to pick back up with the unruffling because it's really important. Your energy strands could be very on edge. And as something on edge, we want to make you very comfortable. So I'd like to pick back up with the unruffling.
Okay.
Which is taking your fingers like a comb and just combing down the energy strands of your body, and comb on down the shoulders, and you can comb down your arms and comb down, and then cast it off the end of your hands. We're only looking for the peaceful energy. Go on down the chest, the lower torso, the hips, the thighs, and unruffle any energy, all the way down to the shins, the calves, the ankles, and your feet. I'd like you to visualize the tree that you use with a lot of branches at the top and all of the roots at the bottom. I believe it's a bright green tree on a black background. Let's visualize that just for a moment. And then visualize those roots. We're down at our feet with the unruffling, and we're thinking about those roots. It's easy for you to visualize. It's easy for me, and you've seen it more than I have. So those roots are absorbing the good energy. And right now, we're going to take our hand down by our ankles, and we're going to zip it up. Just zip it up. I'd like to think that that worked in a really big way, but I know that you have a lot going on right now and then having to move in the middle of it. But again, I just have one more thing to preface. We talked about how your life has changed and is changing. So I see a couple of roles for you, and your role as a loving, supportive, patient husband comes natural to you. You've already done that, and you'll be asked to step it up. And just when you think you've been asked to step it up, you'll be asked to step it up again and again and again. Loving, supportive, and patient. The second role I see for you is a paperwork king and an appointment setter. So as you transition from working with the staff that you have and that she has available, there will be people coming to your home, as you've already mentioned, the physical therapist, the speech therapist, the occupational therapist, and all of that needs to be coordinated. So another role then is you are part of the care team. But remember, you are the leader of the care team. You get to ask questions of every single person, the doctors, the nurses. You get to ask questions and you get to understand. Now, as the leader of the team, you need to be a follower as well. So I want to just place another thought in your mind that, and I know a lot about Medicare, and I know a lot about spending 100 days in a care facility. I did. And then 10 months of at-home therapy. However, what I know about having a good relationship with all of your care team, your medical doctors, I don't know if you have an Advantage plan. It sounded like, from what we've heard so far, you have she has traditional Medicare, but your doctor decides what is medically necessary. So
Mhm.
when you work with your doctor, you speak up. I know you will, but you speak up so your doctor will prescribe the things to make it more comfortable at home. So as I said, I do have a lot of experience in this area, and I'm so honored and privileged to work with you. So David, feel free to take deep breaths anytime that you feel that you would benefit from those deep breaths, because it is the signal to the body that you are ready to do some work within.
Yeah.
So David, is it going to be okay if I have a conversation with you about how your life is changing and will continue to change? Would that be okay if we work on that?
Definitely. Yes.
All right. So knowing I've laid out a couple of roles that you have, and you might not have thought about being the appointment setter and the paperwork king, who not only looks at the explanations of benefits, but may have to do an appeal. And appeals are popular, and many times you win, but the paperwork king. So, as I said, the caregiver is just one aspect aspect of helping someone to walk to the bathroom and maybe put socks on or shoes on, things like that. So what would you like to focus on today so that we can make an impact using this model? Is there one thing you can think about focusing on?
Um, I'll just ramble a bit. In my first marriage, I was the person who paid the bills and scheduled everything. My second marriage, Grace Ann does everything, and she's a micromanager. She wants to be in control. And yesterday, she had me bring in her computer so she could pay some bills, because she knew I didn't know how to do it. It's not that I can't do it. It's just it's not the way the roles are allocated. So we're talking about a reallocation of roles. I would like, and that's a negotiation. So I would like to just be patient and caring and loving during that negotiation with Grace Ann.
Perfect. Perfect. Caring and a change in roles in your marriage is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
So I'd like to see if you could give that a label so that we don't have to say that whole sentence, the changing of the roles. So if it was about smoking cessation, it might be the monkey on your back. But I'm going to ask you if you can think of a phrase or a word that we can use about this role reversal as we continue the purview model.
Radar. Radar was that character in the movie MASH who organized and scheduled everything for everybody. That was actually my job in Vietnam. I had that job. So I know how to do it, but I'm scared to do it, you know.
Well, thank you for answering my very next question. So what are your thoughts and emotions around being radar? And you have admitted, you have a good circle of friends right here, right now. And you have admitted there's some fear. It's scary. It is scary to have a reversal in some areas and then just extra chores, extra chores. Any other thoughts and emotions you want to put around being radar?
Yeah. I remember in Vietnam, I got bounced and they brought in a CPA to be radar. I remember how bad that felt, and I don't want Grace Ann to feel bad if I take on some roles that she's used to doing and much better than me. You know what I mean? But I think it's partly she's the oldest child. I'm the oldest child. She had that role growing up for so many years. You know what I mean? I'm willing to shed that role. She's not, I don't think she is, you know? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm, mhm. Well, you know, I came here with an idea, and the idea is focusing only on you. And the idea was to say, I could speak for an hour about your high achievements and your awards and accomplishments and everything. But what I have not observed as much of, I'm sure you have a lot of it, I have not observed your skills for delegation.
Hmm.
So it sounds as
What
though your
skills?
patient also is not fully accustomed to the delegation of, you know, you do this, this, and this, and I'll just do this. That is not in either one of you primary skills.
Yep.
So let's take a little second here. What is your body experiencing now, David? Do you feel the support that I feel from this group here?
Oh, I feel that. Feel somewhat closed in, claustrophobic, maybe, even though I'm outside. The chest feels tight.
Well, that's good and that's honest. Feel the chest feeling tight is not necessarily good, but it was honest that you were able to admit that. Have you experienced any past coping mechanisms that have helped you when you've been so stressed that you felt a little tight in the chest? Have you found other things that work?
Yeah, running, jogging, all of that. But I haven't been focusing on that. And my own legs are left leg is ironically enough, is giving way. So I need to take care of my body, you know, in order to breathe. And I'm not focused on that now, you know. I need to be.
Well, so far we've covered 3 very deep breaths. And if I wasn't on camera, I might have even breathed in even longer and said more air, more air, more air. And breathe out with a noise. I like to hum. But David, those 3 breaths,
Okay.
there you go. Those 3 breaths will help you.
Um, I like om.
That's a good one. That is a good one. Whew. So have you had any limiting beliefs? Do you have any limiting beliefs about your role as radar?
Yeah. Well, in some sense, radar made everybody codependent on him, you know, by doing everything. And what I've been doing with Grace Ann is hard, but like, I'll say, I'm not going to roll you down the aisle here. You roll, you know? And then I watch her struggle. So it's hard not to jump in and just say, well, I'll do it. You know what I mean? But that's not what she needs. She doesn't need somebody to do it. She needs to practice doing it in whatever limited way she can while I just And everybody says I'm doing a good job by just encouraging her to practice. You know what I mean? Even though it's like watching an infant grab for a pacifier or something, they can't quite do it, you know? Yeah. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there is where your patience with your patient and patience with yourself will kick in. Because as I said, your first few weeks as a caregiver, you'll be like, look at me, I'm a caregiver. And then you'll be asked to step it up, be more patient, be more of a caregiver, be more of an organizing all the appointments and the folks that are coming. And you are in charge. You are in charge of your own health, and you are the caregiver that is in charge of your patient's health at this time.
Yep. Yeah, I get it.
So thinking about your role as radar, it sounds as though, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of I think his name was something like Professor Gadget or something. Like you need so many tools. There was a gadget guy that had to have all of the tools in your tool chest. Are you up to finding the tools and using the tools? Can you restore some of that anxiety in the chest to how great it will be to learn tools from your team members and to implement those tools? Can you feel how there's a revision in the story there?
I do. That's why I invited everybody today to do the processes and the Vuja Day and the axiology, because I need those tools to make sense of something very, very complex, more complex than I've ever experienced, I think, you know.
And you certainly have faced a lot of academic complexities with grace and ease, because I have observed that. I have observed that you are the get her done kind of guy. And what I'm learning about Grace Ann is that she's a get her done kind of person.
Yeah.
And working together and understanding that there's change in the roles will be important. And your support through the many changes, as I said, it will continue to step up and step up and step up. Now, I'm going to go back to something I learned in my Purview's storytelling training, and it's called the little wow moments. Do you have any little wow moments you'd like to share with us right now?
Oh, sure. I try to get here for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and stay the whole day. And we've been taking naps together. And I don't nap during the day. And Grace Ann she likes to nap. And she doesn't want TV. She doesn't want a lot of talking. She wants quiet and to nap, you know? Although she gets a lot of phone calls. By the way, she likes to talk on the phone. That woman loves to talk on the phone. I think people are scared to call her, you know? But I think a couple of you have called her, and she likes to talk. But she wants real relationships. Like wow moments, I see her in line with the other wheelchairs at lunch or something, and she's striking up a conversation with the person behind her, the person in front of her. They're talking about their past, what their occupations were, what's been going on. We had a big conversation this morning about mail theft from mailboxes, with just odd things. But how much life she has. And I'm thinking there's other people in line that are like mad and sad and depressed, you know what I mean? And she's not doing that. That's a wow moment. My wow moment for me is to notice that and engage it. And I'm having conversations with people here and their various situations. And yeah, so I don't know if that's what you're looking for.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you said when you very first introduced this challenge to our group, when you came on for 2 or 3, not even 2 or 3 minutes last Monday and told us what was going on, you expressed that she has the character to recover.
He does.
She has resiliency, and she has the ambition and the desire. And that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing, that both of you are so strong. You use the words independent, and I am using the words willing to improve.
Yep.
And that is a key part of her recovery.
Can I say one thing? She's very honest. And I would try to game the system. She doesn't. She says, well, I'm feeling tired, or I felt I was doing better with my grip yesterday than I am today, or I was felt better before I came here. I wouldn't be that honest. I would be like, how can I get the best care out of this? Maybe I would fib. I try to be an honest person, but you know what I mean? Why is she so honest about it?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Fortunately, I think I'm a little bit different than a lot of people, but I didn't grow up with blame. As my mother said, it's not your fault. It's nobody's fault. Things happen. Things happen. But when I was in for 100 days, people always tried to blame somebody or blame something. We're not looking for blame, and it doesn't sound like she is either.
No.
We're looking for high vibration, the high vibration of the visualization of what life is going to be like as she continues to improve. All right, I want to move to more of the method here. And what would it be like as you cultivate more little wow moments in your life? I know what it would be like for her to walk better and speak better and have better gripping, capabilities. But what will it be like for you to not remember the tightness in your chest? How could you restore that as a man of comfort who is going through and is on the downside of what all you went through with this challenge? How could you restore that?
Well, I know from uh take this how important it is to take time for the breath work, and it's something that we do in Reiki a lot, and we also do it. I loved your opening things with the breath. It's learning to do it myself. Like I know how to do it. I guess it's given myself permission to like do the clearing or combing and change the energy I have. And first couple of days I'd be chipper here, but I would be pretty depressed at home. But now I'm organizing things at home. I'm finding out where Grace Ann keeps her bras and stuff. I never went in to look at where she keeps all this stuff. And she said, I want the purple bra. I want the pink bra. No, that's the bra that goes in the laundry. Where's the clean bras? Where's the clean, I feel like I'm opening all these drawers that I've never opened before in my life. And it was none of my business. Now she's making it my business. And I can't find her Lisa Scott pants anywhere, with the drawstrings that she wants. I've looked through that closet, upward, downward, inside out. I can't find the darn things. I'm feeling like I should just go buy a pair. But anyway, I guess
And
I
you
don't know if
may have
that's
to.
answering your question or not. I think I got off track here.
You are, David. You're a very willing client in this coaching experience, because that's what it takes to speak from your heart and to speak through what it will be like when Grace Ann is home and says, there's that sweater I want to wear, but I can't reach that right now.
No, I know.
It's from me being a team leader and having to have a team, and then working with the two of you who are so independent. Your delegation skills could use some work, if I can say that. But relying on each
I give it
other.
away. I don't delegate. I'd give it away. So
There you go. There you go.
yeah.
So relying on each other is an important part of this, and it sounds like you are up to the challenge.
Thank you.
I want to just say, if you could visualize or verbalize.
All right, see you guys later.
We're going to find out if he has to move again.
I had to move again. I'm going to
Okay.
take a break quickly here. Take care.
Well, I am a stress management expert, so I'm going to tell a little story. I run a lot of Zoom calls in the course of a week, and I had a Zoom call that was published on Facebook, and they did have to register, but of course, I didn't know everybody who was going to show up, and I had a Zoom bomber. So fortunately, I got on like 10 or 15 minutes early, and somebody came on and it was not their face. So all I can do is say, I didn't say, what's that person doing? Could that really be? I didn't do that. I did remove and report. And then when all of my folks got on, I said, I'm a stress management expert. I mean, I'm so glad that this person did that before everybody was on. But hey, I am unruffled. I am unruffled by people having to move to a different part of the building. And I hope that he can relax his shoulders when he gets to his new spot, because we're about ready to wrap up this phase. I know all of you have a lot of good advice for him, and good ways to watch what all is going on. But again, this is the method that he taught me, so I want to be sure and wrap it up when he gets back. So yes, stress management is about, when I work with clients, I can't eliminate their stress. And it's actually not one of the goals to eliminate their stress. It is a goal to reduce their stress, but it's also a goal to learn coping skills. What would you do if you had somebody come on and bomb your Zoom call with an obscene picture? And I'm like, what? I didn't even bother. I just know that's not a face. You're gone. You're not only removed, but you're reported. All right, David, you gave me a chance to do some storytelling.
Thank you.
Have you relocated to a private area?
Oh,
Well, no, you're walking.
I'm working on it.
All right. All right. Whew. Well, we're about to wrap up. I'm hoping that this will be of benefit to you, or that you can think about this as time goes on and maybe use
Good.
some of the
Online.
techniques.
Okay.
All right.
You can carry on now. I'm alone.
All right. right, all right. Well, we're just ready to wrap up. I know that you have the support of storytelling in general,
Yep.
and that you'll be able to tell Grace Ann that you went out to the barn and you talked to Lucky Boy and the girl, Fancy Girl, maybe?
Fancy
And
girl, that's right.
Fancy Girl. See, I watch you on YouTube. I don't live in Las Cruces, but I am your friend and I am your coach, and I'm willing to coach you apart from right here and right now. And I have other methodologies that I use. I believe I used about 6 various this was one of them, but I used other methodologies on one of our friends that has come to me, one of your friends, for coaching. So let's wrap this up with saying that I want you to recognize the support that you have, and I want you to draw on people when they offer to help. So I'm going to go back to me again. It's all about me. So I had no weight bearing on the left leg or the right leg. I wasn't allowed to stand up. I wasn't even, and I was in there for 100 days. So not the whole 100, but we'll say half of it. I wasn't allowed to stand up. So when people came to visit me, or before they came to visit me, they'd say, what can I bring you? What can I bring you? What do you need? Oh, nothing. I don't need anything. It's great. And when they got there and they sat, I would say, oh, I really wish I had. And I actually wished that I had some Ziploc baggies to keep my jewelry in, and very, you know me, with all the rings and the earrings every day, even in the rehab. And this woman, she just like, you got to be kidding me. You could have asked me to bring you some Ziploc bags. I would have been glad to bring you 3, a dozen, a whole box full. Wouldn't have mattered. I would have been glad to do that. And so I did have to learn that people want to help you. They want to. So I'm going to wrap that up because, as you know, you have a lot of support, and I hope you feel it right here and right now. I use a virtual assistant because I have to have a team. I have to delegate. That's just who I am. And if you chose to get a virtual assistant to help you with your slides or working with Elior or anything like that, I could give you some pointers, some tips, and some advice, because there's got to be enough David to go around, and there's got to be enough David to maintain his health and his positive attitude and the work that is required to help someone else, Well, David, let me ask you, has going through these steps and just some of the things I've talked about, has that been of benefit for you?
It's an energy 10.
Well, thank you for saying that, because I learned from the best, and I will continue to learn and attend your activities because I do enjoy it so much. And as I said, I've used the Purview method on clients already, and I will get better and better at it. And I don't usually have an audience, but I enjoyed working with you and your honesty for bringing everything to the surface and sharing it with your friends. So I'd like to wrap it up now with thank you. If you have but one prayer, just make it thank you.
Thank you.
All right, David, what do we have next?
I just, on the topic of delegation, I was thank Tom for taking on my client while I'm doing this, and Olivia for organizing these sessions and the mailings, emailing. So appreciate both of you. Thank you.
I saw that. I saw people stepping up, even, even before Olivia's been doing some of the communication. And with your caregiver team that you are now the leader of and responsible for, communication skills will be big. Because as I said, now for me, I don't have a doctorate, so I'm not afraid to say, wait, what did you say? What does that mean? I'm not afraid to say that. And if you don't understand anything, you are responsible for your health. And you can say, wait, what is that? Why am I doing that? Why are we getting that? Anyway, I think you know those things, but I hope I have illuminated some things for you today. So thank you for being so open and honest.
Thank you. If it's okay, could we have Vanessa do something? Vanessa, are you up for this?
Yeah. Well,
I'd like
so
to
I've
do, the time travel back to my early days, first 7 months.
so I'm a little bit concerned about the time.
Yeah, I can do
If
it
it's
quick.
15 minutes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a little, I still feel like I'm trying to find the root. Like I get that you need to take care of yourself. So does that feel like
Well,
the thing that is the most charged for your body right now?
I'm going to do when I was very young, I think it's in the first 7 months, my grandmother had a stroke and she never recovered the use of her body or speech. Very little, She was just the whole left side. And I'd noticed that fear and I'd kind of like to timeline that,
Okay. Okay, perfect. So are you ready to let go of this and to be aware of it consciously?
Yes.
Okay, great. So going all the way back in your timeline, all the way to that time when your grandmother had a stroke, just taking a deep breath in, letting it go, and just trusting your unconscious mind, going all the way back to that age. You're totally safe. Just travel there effortlessly. And when you're there, I want you to get in your body. I want you to see what you see, hear what you hear, feel what you feel. And when you're there, let me know.
There.
Perfect. And I want you to step out of yourself. I want you to witness it from above. I want you to see yourself, see your body, see anything and everything that's relevant into the event. I want you to also just take a step back in time, take as little or as much time as you need to go all the way back that you can see anything and everything that led up to this event for you, for anyone involved, including your grandmother. And when you're there, let me know.
There.
Perfect. And now from this grand bird's eye view that you can see, feel, hear, and glean anything and everything that you need in order to fully transmute this feeling, these fears, and everything that's holding you back, what lessons and learnings can you get by observing this event?
What I see in the first 6 months is my grandmother holding me with her right arm. And while my dad is working on a house and my mother's, running around doing things in the house down the street, I'm seeing my grandmother caring for me.
Beautiful. How does that feel?
Feels good. I haven't not connected that before.
Good. Good. So what other lessons and learnings can you get by observing this event?
Um, she was caring for me before I learned to care for myself, or as I learned to care for myself. I had some
Good.
grandmother attention. It's
Beautiful. So just feeling that, witnessing that you had this role model at a very young age to help you care for yourself. Like she's showing you that initial maternal care and what I'm seeing is that then, the abruptness of that going away, it seems like it changed, right? And then you have been seeking that out in relationship, which is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It takes a village, right? We all take care of each other. And so while you're always in the position to ask for help, it is always great to also be in an empowered position of knowing that you are autonomous, you are whole, you are the perfect blueprint of total health, total healing, fully integrating the wholeness. Now you have all the tools, the support that you need to get anything and everything done in your life with ease and grace. And I'm gonna pass it on to Lucero right now and allow her to get a little deeper and I'll come back, but I feel that she has something for you.
Thank
Hi,
you,
David.
Lucero. Thank you.
Ah,
Thank
it's
you.
so good to see you. I'm so sorry that it's under these circumstances. But yeah, I'm sending a lot of love to you and to Grace Ann. So if you could do me a favor, if you could put your right hand over your heart, and the invitation goes to everybody as well. And you could do light taps, taking a deep breath in. Deep, deep breath, breathing in with blue energy, blue light. I release this experience to the most beautiful love there is, to divine love. You can rest the hand there, and then one in the belly and one in the heart. We release this experience to divine love, to divine unity. Nana yidra satrukana hayomaye. Nana yumaye we. Peace to your heart in all existing planes and dimensions. Nana mama ye wa ye ma ye we. Release from the throat, release pressure from the neck, letting your body know, hey body, it's okay to release the tension. Release the tension. The body hears us. So when you nurture your body, it'll start to release the tension from the nervous system. Nanayitra satrokana sayoma hayoa. Na 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 yo. Calling in brothers and sisters of the light to lay hands on your back, on your crown, on your feet. I'm envisioning all of us holding hands together, taking a deep breath. Nanayitra Satrokana Samahayoa. And moving that heartache out of the heart meridian, out of the throat, out of the breath. Giving it up. Beautiful. Wonderful. It's moving out of the systems. Thank you all for supporting. When we breathe together, we support each other collectively. May the heartache ease. The energy is moving in the heart even more. Na na mama yo I am. Beautiful. And giving it back to you, Vanessa.
Thank you, Lucero.
You got it.
Beautiful. Okay, David, I would love for you to just tune right back into that event where your grandmother's holding you with her right arm and your mom and dad are working around the house and just visualizing that. And I want you to just tap into that little version of you, tap into your grandmother. And I want you to ask your grandmother directly, like, what wisdoms and lessons can you get from this moment that you can hold with you always so that you can stand strong no matter what comes your way?
So she says she's a very strong woman. and she loves nature and the bees and the flowers and the irises and the orchards, the cows, milking cows with her right hand, you know. Um, that she lived a full life with all that she had, you know,
Mm,
the right side of her body, you know. She
beautiful.
still lived a full life.
So knowing that, how does that make you feel?
Peaceful,
Good.
joyful. It's not
Beautiful.
about the finish line. It's about the journey.
Beautiful. So knowing that it's not about the finish line and it's about the journey, how does that affect you moving forward?
I'm noticing how much joy there is each day here, even in the turbulence of it all, the complexity. That's we find moments to be happy, you know, together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Little things, little mindful things
Beautiful.
make a
And
huge.
isn't that what it's all about, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, like I think back at like, the little faces my brother used to make that were like, "Mah," right? And it's like these little idiosyncrasies that people do that like being present with them, right? Being present even in this moment, even in the turbulence, right? It's like we're getting slapped left and right, but we're still giggling because what? Right? Beautiful. So just taking a deep breath in, feeling that peace and that joy in your body, knowing that it's not about the finish line, it's about the journey. You're making new neurological connections on the unconscious level. You have the perfect blueprint of total health, total healing, fully integrating the wholeness now, knowing that even during the turbulences, there's always joy within every moment of every day. And it's all about your perspective and how you tap into your own joy, your own source, knowing that regardless of what hits you, you can live a full life just like your grandmother, and that regardless of what hit her, she just lived her life and she's experienced the joy, milking the cows, enjoying nature, the bees, just following the joy, allowing your being, your body, your whole self to just fully connect with your vertical self, your energy, your source, God, life, universe, whatever you want to call it. It's always with you, tapped in, turned on, tuned in, taking a deep breath in, letting it go. And now I want you to go back down into that event. I want you to go down into your body. Did we lose? Oh, there you are. The whole screen moved. I was like, where'd you go? So go down into your body. I want you to see what you see, hear what you hear, feel what you feel with your grandmother holding you. And I want to ask you, is that old feeling, is it still there or is it gone now?
The good feelings are there. The
Beautiful.
fear
So now
is
I want
gone.
you Well, now that you have all these beautiful lessons and learnings and this feeling of peace and joy in your body, knowing that it's not about the finish line, it's just about the journey, I want you to rewrite this story in your mind. I want you to visualize your grandmother, see her whole and complete, witnessing her doing all these things, still enjoying her life, still being able to hold her grandson, still happy and peaceful and joyful. And if you want to share anything else that you're seeing or feeling in this moment.
Yeah. Some I know my parents had been yelling and screaming at each other all this time. Mother didn't want to live on the farm next to the grandparents, wanted a suburb. My dad wanted to build the house and be proud of it, be part of the farm. But my grandmother stepped in. She cared for me. You know what I mean? I didn't have to have the parents care for me because they were busy. And so I respect that, you know? And it means st have a life, have the life, enjoy the life. That's it, you know?
Beautiful. And knowing that it takes a village. Like right now, we're a village right now here supporting you, supporting Grace Ann, supporting each other. And it's so beautiful that you had, and you still have her, right? Like we can always tap into that moment. You can always tap in knowing that you're always taken care of and that you can and you will be able to handle anything that comes your way. Beautiful. Now, Lucero, I want to invite you back. If there's anything else you want to wrap up, support David with.
David, I acknowledge you for the David that you are, the beautiful, radiant, kind-hearted, surrendered man that you are. In order to bring all these wonderful beings together that have incredible brilliance in every part of their soul, that are also surrendered, that are all about connecting with humanity and with their families, and willing to learn and willing to forgive. And you brought us all together. I acknowledge you for creating God's vision, the divine love vision of bringing humanity closer together. And you and Grace Ann, your love is so beautiful in all the shapes and sizes and all the, even throughout all these heartaches. And um I'll be with you. I'll be holding my heart, and I invite everybody else too, that throughout the day, as you channel into your own heart, when you touch the heart area, that you send a lot of calming, soothing, radiant energy to David and to Grace Ann. Because as you think about them, and anybody with an open heart, it's easy to be in telepathy. So he will feel it throughout the day. And there's a chant, okay, for your shoulders and for your heart, just to close it. So everybody, I invite you to take a deep, deep breath again. And release. Nanahidra satrokana samahayo e. Nana hayo maye waye. Breathing in with the purple light into your body, receiving the universal support there is through all interactions all around you. We close the session. I close the session with love, with light, with eternal joy. For you, blessings for you and Grace Ann. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Vanessa, you're incredible. I love the work that you do. And Joy, you're magnificent as well. And it's so good to see all of your faces. Lots of gratitude to be able to be here, and especially in these moments to gather and to hold each other. I love you, David. I definitely want Grace Ann's number so I can call her.
Okay,
I'm a chatty person too.
I'll put it, I'll
Yeah.
get it out to you. See, I'd like to turn to Harvey and Peter, and then Doug and Monty. I know we're right at the close time, but I really appreciate you all everyone be here, open it to everyone. But I had some specific questions for them, and I sent them notes. But what's your reaction, Harvey and Peter?
Well, this is beautiful, and it's quite something to observe the spirit that's here. As you know, from our work, also, David, and Grace Ann has been through as well. It's not just about the stories of the past, it's about the story that's being written. And looking at, for what it's worth, I believe that there's purpose in everything. So the question may be, what is the purpose that you and Grace Ann are going through this? Is it possible that there is service that she's providing there at the therapy center? Is there possibility that your purpose in this is yet to be discovered? Not just in the care, not just in the patient caring and capable, but in the gift that you are being from your being. And I certainly think that you and Grace Ann are in a partnership, and to bring that partnership forward, to write the next chapter of your story is a next big step for you both.
Thank you. Thank you. And Harvey?
Yeah, just to play off something that Pete said, um, I think the idea of what are you learning from this? What gift is she giving you in being able to give you the opportunity to learn what you need to learn about yourself and who you are and what really matters to you. And having had a chance to take a quick look at your profiles from what we do with axiology, one thing is very clear. Both of you, both of you highly value people and relationships and are very much caring people. And that's probably so much more important than any of the other parts, is just being there for each other emotionally, and each of you knowing that each of you cares about the other, and about the other people around you, because that caring is going to show up in how you relate to the staff there and to the other patients, and the kind of environment that you create for yourselves and for each other.
Yeah, thank you. Um, Very profound. I really appreciate it. I'm going to contemplate it and respond at the end, but I know Monty's here and Doug are here, and Monty's been wanting to say things for a couple of sessions. Are you available, Monty?
Yeah, yes, absolutely, David. I'm not sure I've ever sat through as precious of a session as I've seen today. I mean, number one, David, you leading with your heart and your willingness to be vulnerable is absolutely astounding. Takes a lot of courage, tremendous amount of courage. But that is David. That is deep in David's heart. And watching you today and listening to you, and then Joy's work and Vanessa's work and Lucero's work, and I'm missing somebody's work, has absolutely been impressive. So your spirit, your energy, your enthusiasm will prevail. And as the conversation and discussion was evolving, yes, I was watching your data in Vujade. I know Doug was doing the same. And I had a few insights. And let me bring up those insights real quick. As I was taking notes, and I'll be happy to send this to you. You're both on the extroverted side. You get your energy from others. You get more energy from others than Grace Ann does, but both of you will be served very, very, very well with your circle of friends, with your circle of caregivers. I think Joy was right on when she says you're the leader of the team. And basically getting your energy from others will be very, very critical in advancing Grace Ann's success, as well as your own personal mental well-being.
Yeah.
You're both highly kinesthetic,
Mhm.
but Grace Ann is also very auditory. She's very integrated.
Mhm.
So you're both doers. You both want to be able to support and assist each other.
Yeah.
And as you said, Grace Ann having this huge need to have conversation and discussion, talking with people in front of her and talking with people in back of her, and engaging. That conversation is going to be absolutely critical for her self-energizing and her self-spirit.
Yeah.
So So you both can do this. You both can support each other. And that conversation and that auditory nature is really, really, really critical.
Thank
But
you.
my big aha was she is very, very rare from the standpoint of our data being balanced between her process and her outcome.
Mhm. Yep.
And you talked about her spirit right now of not necessarily being down, not necessarily being depressed.
Mhm.
And what came to mind was, I think maybe because of this unique balance that she has between her outcome and her process, she can keep in balance very, very well
Mhm.
the present as well as the future.
Yeah.
She will have a dream, and she will also be able to she'll be very capable of cognitively figuring out how she has to go forward to achieve the dream. You're the big outcome person. No wonder forever and ever and ever she's paid the bills and all that kind of stuff and taken care of all the details. But as the leader of the team, yeah, you're going to have to sort of get into the nitty gritty and deal with the details and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But she's the person who can figure out the balance.
Yeah.
And she is gifted in that. And it's really, really, really rare to see a person right at zero.
Mhm.
That was the big aha when I was listening to this conversation, watching the data, and just saying, she's in an amazing place to not only know what the end goal is, but to be able to get there.
Yeah.
So God bless both of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Doug, I wish you were here to study this rehab center for all of the Vujade aspects.
Well, heck, I would be happy to, I may just come down to visit just to do that with you, get a little bit more time with you. Um, I there's a lot that Monty said that I won't repeat, so I'll just go through a few points. First off, acknowledge, Monty talked about your courage about sharing this, and it is certainly a courageous thing. So thank you for that. But I had a slightly different feel of it because as an extrovert, as a extremely extroverted person, I realize that that's also part of your process. By sharing it, it's how you come to understand things, and that's a very extroverted behavior. So I want to acknowledge that, and the same thing on the outcome piece. As you spoke, talking about how much of the process in your lives that Grace Ann does, and literally your fear around having to deal with that took a lot of courage. Um, it's but what I want to focus on is a couple other points you talked about. One is as you look about dealing with these processes now, it's what a wonderful way to appreciate all that Grace Ann has done for you, and the things that she does, and you talked about being radar, and I loved MASH, like so many people. I actually had a different feeling, and I don't know if this is something you want to do to reframe, but if you remember who took over for radar was Max Klinger. And
Oh,
he had
yeah.
struggles doing it. It was so hard. He's an outcome person. He's not a process person like Radar was. And he actually got upset and angry at himself until someone, and I want to say, it was Hawkeye that said, you need to be you. You're not going to be a radar. You're going to be different. And that's going to bring so many other things to it. So don't be afraid to be your own Max Klinger in this case. Be you. And once again, it may not be your preference, but you're certainly capable of it. I want to just honor Joy on you doing the purview methodology. It's one thing to read about it, it's another to see that methodology being done, and honor you and Grace Ann for formulating it. As I was hearing about this, I said, wow, it's certainly a challenge. And I know right now you're really focused on all the tasks you need to do to support her. And that's rightfully so. But what I want to encourage you is this is such an opportunity. you're two so very strong, independent, capable individuals, you and Grace Ann. And here's a real chance for you to not forget about some space about your relationship. We get focused on the task so much, but leaving a little space in your mind to think about this is an opportunity to how two very independent, capable people can grow. And I'm not suggesting codependence. What I'm suggesting is synergy. And you have a chance to explore so much greater synergy, to grow more into an us as you do this. And I'll leave with the final thought of, take a look at Vuja Day every once in a while and think about how can I continue to align more to Grace Ann and see the world through her eyes. So, because when you do that level of empathy will give her that much more great support, and give you the opportunity to grow and to see things differently. It's a real opportunity to grow as us.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful to everybody here, and it's time to close out. So I'll just say how important the sessions were to me that I've had today, and for you all to be here. You're my support team. I'm appointing you support team. I'm the leader. I can do that. So I'm a leader with the steering group, actually. So let's do the gratitude going out. Tom, go ahead.
Oh, thank you, David. This was and everyone, Joy, Vanessa, Cyril, everyone's comments. I think I'm so grateful to be part of this team and part of this experience. What I saw today was just a vulnerability of hearts coming together in the most appreciative way of each other giving of themselves. And you can feel the gratitude in the room. So I'm grateful to be part of it, and God bless both you and Grace and David as you go through this. Sabine?
Thank you. I am grateful for this group and these moments of togetherness. And it's amazing to me how this is possible, even though many of us have not met in person, to be touched in this way over miles, and yet the physical touch is not there, but the touch of the heart is there. And I just feel that love that permeates this whole group. And I'm just about in tears here because this is so beautiful. And I must say, David and Grace Ann, I love both of you and admire both of you so much. And David, remember, we are right here, and always will be for you. Just ring the doorbell whenever you want to, I mean, and I mean that, I mean, I don't want to step on any toes, but just know that we're here for hugs, practical support, whatever it might be. Just don't hesitate, okay, to accept it. I don't want to be pushy, but it's your choice to make, but we are here, okay? And our arms are open. Okay, David, we love you. And let's go to Jim.
Thank you. I'm grateful for the love and the wisdom that's in this group, and I send my love out to you and Grace Ann, David, as well as being grateful for my own personal challenges in my life. I'll pass it on to Vanessa.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, I'm grateful that you chose me, David, as one of the many people to support you in this. It means a lot to me. I love you. I support you. I am Team David all the way. And I want to just reflect to you too that just this call and the way that you had to move around in the space that you did multiple times is a reflection of your flexibility. And as you know, in NLP from Tad James, the person with the most flexibility has the most control. So like your ability to navigate your current situation and also your determination to stay here, be present and do the work regardless of having to navigate that. Like, so just hold that and know that no matter what happens, like you got this, you're strong, you're determined, you're flexible, like you're joyful, you're a light, you're a leader, you're everything that you've ever came to be and more, and you will continue to be that. And thank you, thank you, thank you for being, and all of you for being here and being a part of this and supporting it and witnessing it. And I will pass it to Carl. Carl, you're muted.
Thank you, Howard. It's so great to be around such highly intelligent people, high IQ, off the charts, like in awe of everybody's intelligence and brilliance. And yet what comes forward is the caring heart. It's like what's evident in Dr. David and everyone else is a really caring individual, compassionate. Yes, you have all these academic experiences and knowledge, but it's like the heart is actually primary here. And when you match it with high intellect, it's amazing what you can do. So it's just such a privilege around such caring people with such intelligence. It's the most beautiful form of wisdom you can experience. You know, love and knowledge really makes for wisdom. And that's what this whole group embodies. So such a privilege to be around all of you. We'll pass it on to Harvey.
Yes. Go green.
Yes. All right. Nice game.
It's just such a pleasure to be with all of you. David, please make sure you share our love, our collective love to Grace Ann. We're thinking about you and about her. Yeah, this is all about compassion. It's amazing to me as I think about all of the craziness going on in the world and all the division that there is the possibility of people like us and millions more who are thinking about and living the way we're living our lives. Pleasure to be a part. Paul, you're on mute.
I
Oh, there you go.
That's where I should spend more time. There was an old saying, no one needs a smile so much as he, she, who has none to give. Whenever I heard that, it just, and I'm going to rephrase it with your permission. No one needs advice so much as he who has none to give. I don't know who to single. I think everybody has spoken.
Olivia, Doug, for example.
Olivia.
Well, thank you,
Monty.
Paul. I'm I'm feeling grateful for this experience for you, David, being, as it was already expressed, so beautifully vulnerable and brilliant, and really everyone's collective energy creating this beautiful space. I'm also grateful that I get to learn from my own daughter, and that's really fun. And see her shine and blossom and help me heal. A lot of the things that you're going through are reminiscent of me taking care of my son. And so it's brought up some grief, and it's been very healing to be in this. And thank you, Lucero, as well, for your beautiful light language and healing sounds and words. And so I will pass it to Doug. Thank you.
Thanks, Olivia. I'm grateful and honored to be a witness, to witness, David, your vulnerability, the amazing abilities and skills of this group. It's just so life affirming to see that when a critical moment comes together, how your team, David, comes together to support you and Grace Ann. So thank you. Thank you for that opportunity. Appreciate it. I know my colleague Monty hasn't gone yet, so I'll pass to Monty.
So I'm grateful for community. Communities make a difference. Communities change the world. Communities give energy. And I'm thinking of the occasional challenges that we face in community, and when that occurs, it's strong. So I'm thinking about David Strong, and I'm thinking about Grace Ann Strong. And I wish both of you a tremendous amount of strength. Lucero, have you?
Yeah, Lucero, Jack, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, I'm really grateful for breath, and I'm grateful for divine love and for love and human love. And I love all of you. Like Carl and all of you said it, Doug, Monty, and all of us have said it, the presence that is here, the intelligence of the heart. I'm so grateful for the intelligence of the heart. And I'm grateful for Anne and for David and for your union and what it is to witness such a divine couple with such resilient hearts and your leadership skills. I'm grateful for your leadership skills and for all of you, for your voices, for your hearts and for your minds. And I'm grateful for Vanessa and Olivia for bringing me here. I wouldn't be here without them. So yeah, I love you ladies so much. And Jack, it's your turn.
Yeah, thank you, Lucero. And thank you, David. The gift that you are giving us by bringing this work here during our time when we're all together is really a gift that you're extending to all of us in this sharing. And what I'm also noticing, David, is the connection and commitment that we as a group are to each other and being able to share your experience with Grace Ann in this venue that we're all in together. I'm realizing the depth of the commitment that we are to each other just by what you've done today. And with all the help of all the different coaches and healers in this group and all the wisdom that's been uncovered. I noticed too that sometimes I need to break down my own defenses, because when I saw the depth and the sincerity of all the sharing, I realized, that I sometimes am in my own defenses and need to try to let go of those myself. So thank you, David. And hopefully everything with you and Grace Ann, certainly this particular venue is such a great venue. I'm just really touched by the commitment that we are for each other. Anyone here could bring any of their own personal work in, and it's totally accepted and appreciated. So thank you, and I'll pass it over to Tom. Tom, you haven't gone, have you?
He started.
I started it, Jack, but thank you.
Who's left? Who's left?
Just me.
You got everyone.
Okay, David, over to you.
Hey, this has been a brilliant session. I've gained a lot, and I've given a lot, and we are Growth OD, and we are consultants, and coaches, and healers, and there's no better combination of that in the world. And the things that we could do for organizations, I would love to consult this organization someday, because these people give of themselves in this rehab hospital. They got a smile on their face. They always got a hello. They're dealing with the most tragic situations in life and death. And yet their team spirit is there. They coordinate, They got so much bureaucratic stuff to deal with. They don't let it get in the way. I wish academia was half as good as this hospital is. The people that so many different science disciplines getting along. Where do you ever see that in the world, you know? And there's people here that worked in aerospace and the military and academia and school systems that are patients. And I'm a patient too. I have to learn a lot of things, and you've helped me today. So I don't know what we're doing next Monday, but I know it's going to be awesome. Olivia will let us know, okay?
Yeah, I believe Ken is going to be helping with some behind the scenes with courses and things that we can do as a community to get our work out there.
Very
So
good.
stay tuned. I'll send an email update.
Okay, I'm going to bow out and thank you, everybody. And it's been wonderful.